Hello.
Hello, how are you? Happy Monday.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Am I okay?
I
I
can
am
hear you.
struggling over here with my earbuds. So I know, right? Tech. Happy Monday. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I love it. So how was your weekend? Everybody good?
Yeah. Busy. Guys, we're gonna celebrate. I finished getting my new camper office painted, and my husband is rolling out the flooring this morning, and I'm getting all moved in.
Yay!
Yeah,
Love
I'm
it.
very
That is
excited.
fantastic. That is awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I'm not getting those to work right now. All right.
But
Just put them away. So I'm super excited about that. Kayla, you've been working on this for a while, so I'm very excited. Welcome,
yeah.
welcome. We are here in Mindset Monday, where we kickstart our week with inspiration and positivity. And as you can see, I did not put the quote on again today. We've got lots of stuff happening around here. Lots
Okay,
of
I have it
changes.
pulled up.
Oh, yay! Because I do not, and so I was like, oh no, one of us needs to have the quote. What is it?
I got an extra level of preparedness this week. I actually, guys, very proud of myself. You know how I talk about every week? I'm like, oh, I should look up who this person is. So I finally actually made another column on our spreadsheet and started looking up the authors ahead of time.
Nice.
Yeah, it only took me 2 years to put two and two together.
Hey, you know what? It's
Uh,
progress, not perfection, so it's all good.
So today's quote comes to us from Benjamin Spock, and he says, "Trust yourself. You know more than you think you do."
Mm. That's a hard one for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard one for me.
Interestingly, Spock was the first pediatrician to study psychoanalysis in an effort to understand children's needs and family dynamics.
Ooh. I knew so that's funny. I did not look up Dr. Spock, but I am a child of the 70s. And so I remember Dr. Spock being a topic of conversation amongst the adults in my life.
Oh,
I'm
interesting.
not familiar with his work, other than, there was lots of talk about what Dr. Spock says, that kind of thing. So anyway, little tidbit about that, I guess.
Yeah, this quote. We'll go back. Trust yourself. You know more than you think you do. This one, um, it's almost a little sneaky to me.
Mm.
So I'm just going to share what's on my mind, and then maybe it'll make sense. For those who don't know, I started my business. Well, I started kind of like dabbling, found the circle, but probably about 2.5 years ago now. And I'm a registered nurse. I have been for like a decade. All of my background is in healthcare or a little bit of waiting tables. So not a business background. I do not come from a family of business. I'm not, I don't know anybody who's an entrepreneur. Like this is completely uncharted territory, like in every way for me. And, I started with the very firm belief that I was capable enough to figure it out, but also humble enough to know that I don't know what I'm doing. But unfortunately, now with hindsight of where I am now, looking back, I think that I kind of didn't give myself enough credit mentally. And it wasn't until really like a couple months ago when I started to feel like I actually did know what I was doing here. And that challenge for me was further compounded by the fact that like the work that we do, I don't know, maybe this is different for you, but in my area, I'm the first one in this geographical area to do something like this. So I'm just constantly met by like, wow, that's so cool. I've never heard that before, which is really cool when you're talking to the general public. But I also reached out, I joined my Chamber of Commerce and reached out to the Small Business Development Center and the Small Business Administration. And here in Maryland, we have Maryland Capital Enterprises, which is another like focused on starting entrepreneurs, like help them build their business. And I'm at this time in this Center for Entrepreneurship, which comes with mentoring as well. I say all that to say, all of those people who know business and are here to help new business owners be successful standing in this world, they knew business, but they couldn't, none of them had tools or models that worked for the type of business that I'm doing, because what we're doing is so new and different from anything else out there. Like, I'm pretty sure if I wanted to start a food truck, like they would have had a blueprint for me, but I just kept getting met with, well, gee, I don't know how to help you. Good luck. Sounds cool. Between all of these entities that were in my view, and this is, boiling it down, but all these places that were supposed to be able to help me didn't know what to do, and I didn't know what to do. I was just living in this like constant, I don't know what I'm doing. And like, there's definitely an element of that when you start your business, but if I could go back to myself and, give myself some 2 cents, like I wish I had given myself a little more credit. And I don't think I would have spun my wheels quite as much if I had a little bit more belief that even though I haven't done it before, I still have a sense of what I am doing.
Yeah.
So that was my long rant.
I love it. I love it. And I think there's so much, of course, like everything else we talk about, I think that there's layers of what we're talking about here. I do agree. Like, we do know more than we think we know. We just do. I don't think any of us give ourselves enough credit. I think. So I'm in the middle of reading Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, which I think is, it's by Susan Jeffers. And if you've not read it, it is a good one. Actually, I finished it yesterday.
Gonna have to add it to my list because I love that phrase. Didn't know it was a book.
Yes, it is. It is a book, and it's and she talks a lot about this very thing, how to develop our. And Kayla, it's funny because I wanted to bring it to you about Mindset Monday and some of the things that we're doing anyway. So this is just a great segue, because she talks about how there are intuitive mind, I may be messing this up, but there are exercises that we can do to increase our awareness and our intuitive mind and bring it more to the forefront of our daily lives. And I was thinking about this because I was like, man, I think this is so in line with the work that we do and talk about on Mindset Monday, where, the more we practice acting and taking action in these intuitive places, the easier it gets, right? And so much of the time, she told a story. It was a great story. She was a professor. I don't know exactly what the bottom line was. This, she got up one day and she went to work, and something was niggling her mind to take a trip across town to this new school that had just opened. And she didn't really know why, but she said, okay, I'm going to go. So she went and she was walking around the campus. And then when she got there, she just felt like she needed to go to whatever department it was. I don't remember. And so she went to the department and literally walked in and said to the receptionist, I'm here to teach a class about fear. And she was like, what? Where did that go? And so it turns out that the chair of this particular department had been looking for someone to do a class on fear, and the deadline to get the description, the course description published was like later that afternoon. And so like
wild.
literally in 10 minutes, she walks into this office, and within 10 minutes, she is literally on the course description, the catalog for the next semester of classes to teach this course on fear, which actually is, anyway, based on the book and all of the things. But my point is that if she hadn't felt comfortable trusting that little thing that said, go look at that new campus. Oh, go into that department and, walk in, and then that may not have happened. She could have spent months trying to get her course on the course catalog for any number of schools, right? And met with it not working. Whereas when she was in tune with this intuitive practice, I think ultimately what she was trying to say was the universe is working. And if we will be part of that, then it will bring people together to do the things that need to be done. Anyway, I just thought that was really interesting. And I don't know how many of us trust those things. I have a story very similar, and I won't go into it, but, where I was driving down the road and literally I just felt completely compelled to stop and buy money orders in a very specific amount of money. Like it was very specific, and I did. And it turns out it was the exact amount of money that somebody needed for a very particular thing later that week. And I just happened to have these money orders that were in that exact, and I had no idea why I was buying these money orders. I just felt very compelled to do it. I know those are kind of, stretches, right? But I think that they do embody this idea of trust ourselves. Yeah. We know more than we think we do. And, like I didn't tell anybody I did that, by the way, because I didn't know why I did it. And I was like, this is kind of weird.
That kind of, before the ending of that story is there, that messy middle kind of creates more questions than anything.
Right? I mean, it is. So
no lie, if you came home, it was like, yeah, I bought these specific money orders for no reason, I'd be like, babe, are you okay?
Right. Well, and that's why I didn't tell anybody. But then when the occasion presented itself, I literally was like, are you? So my friend said, this is what's happening. This is what I can't believe I need this much money, blah, 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 blah. I was like, are you serious? Because I actually have that amount of money in money orders. So I'm supposed to give it to you. Like literally, I guess this is for you. Because I don't know why I did it. So anyway,
that is wild.
Yeah, it can be wild how things work. And like I said, I know that's very drastic. Those don't happen. I mean, I think that happened like 8 years ago or something, 10 years ago. So it's not
still though, it's like such an excellent illustration, because it is like there's no way there's no way to look at that story and draw like a logical linear conclusion to somewhere else. That's why that's such a great story. Yeah.
And that's why I think sometimes those things happen. And when we have the courage to trust it, kind of amazing things can happen, right? And it's, anyway, I love this idea of intuitiveness and trusting what's happening, even when we don't understand it, because I think that's what makes it hard, is I want to understand. Like, I want to know, all of those details.
Yeah. Right? And that's the trap. Like it's intuition, and leaning into intuition is so difficult because, and this is kind of bordering on some of the things that are taught in religion, but it's like you're taking actions without evidence, really.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
right.
in my understanding is the whole concept of faith. So it's like you can't justify it or rationalize it. And so if you pull your conscious critical thinking brain into it, it's just going to find all of the reasons that, you know, we shouldn't go get these money orders or drive across town to campus, because there is no logical reason. That's the
Right.
whole point.
Exactly.
And that was the catch-22 that I found myself in for so long. Is this was an area that I had no prior knowledge, and so that is why I didn't have much trust in, oh, well, I think I should. And I'm like, well, why do I think I should do that? Like, have I learned that somewhere? Like, because also, like, you know, right. Like, you're also not trying to like go in circles and, you know, make a big mess of things. And there is, of course, if you're doing something new, there is value in, you know, trying to get the guidance of those who have done it before you. But I got to a point, I don't know. I mean, like, hindsight is 2020, right? But like when I really sit back and think back, like, I don't think I could have got to this place any sooner, because there was also this, like, I had to get enough stuff working to have the confidence to believe that, you know what, maybe I actually do know what I'm doing, even though I have no logical thing that I can point to and say, yes, that's why I know what I'm doing.
Well, and I think too, it's really interesting, Kayla, that you bring this up, because I also have no history in entrepreneurship, or, you know, I have an administration experience. And I will say I've run businesses for other people. Like, other people have trusted me with a lot of money, like lots of money, like millions of dollars have run through departments that I've run. And, you know, I didn't think about it that way until just recently, literally. But I think that there's so many principles of running our own business that other experiences in our life apply. But for some reason, I didn't give it that kind of credence. Right? Like, for some reason, I thought because I had never opened a business before, therefore I didn't know anything about business, which now I'm like, duh, no. Like, I understand life and I understand how the world works. Therefore, I do have some experience to bring to this. And that's where we've talked about before, that this intuitive mind and this lives in a place in our brain where we don't have language for it. Right? And so there isn't a way to describe what's happening when it's happening in this intuitive place. And that's kind of scary, because we've been taught, you read books, you go to classes, you learn things, right?
Oh, the Western way.
Right. Versus, you know, we can learn things and process them in a different place in our brain. That means I can't explain it to you. It just means that, you know, and that's what this work that we do on Monday is really about, is getting in touch and being aware and taking little actions, because, like we talk about a lot here on Mondays, action builds confidence, right? And so each time we practice trusting ourselves, we gain just a little bit more confidence in, you know, how we're doing things and what we're doing. And, you know, it's interesting too, because confidence in and of itself, I was just thinking about this the other day, you know, why I've had situations where I've been able to close clients that others have not. And I'm like, what's the real difference in that? Because I may not say anything different, but if I'm more confident in my presentation, so it's important not just for us to be confident for ourselves, but it also instills others' confidence in us as we build that confidence.
Which truly, I mean, that's, if we're looking through that lens, I think beneath the surface, that's a lot of what people are buying from us, is confidence that they'll actually be able to Oh darn. There it goes. I was like, it always locks up at the most flattering point. What is with that? But people are looking really to buy confidence that they can get what they need from the healthcare system, because at the moment they have zero.
That's right.
So that makes perfect sense, especially in this arena as opposed to business in general. I don't think that's necessarily as important in other areas.
Yes. The other thing that I wanted to share in regards to this is, and this was kind of something I was thinking about this morning, is that, when I get to overthinking, I get exhausted and I just want to quit. And when I trust my intuition, things seem to get simpler. And right now, one of the things that we're doing is we're moving our free community off of Mighty Networks onto a Facebook platform. And I'm not going to lie, when I think about that, it gets crazy in my head. And I'm just like, you know what? We're doing this because we're meeting where people are. We're doing the right thing. This is where people are. This is where they're learning about advocacy. We need to be there to kind of help with that. And so that's the simple answer, is just, we're doing it. We're just doing it. The next thing, right? Stop thinking about it like that. Because it will run me. And you said something about spinning in circles, and that's what my rational brain does, is runs me in circles and tires me out. Whereas when I get really clear on my intuition and, I just believe that this is the right thing, it's very simple. It's very direct. It may not be easy, but it is very simple. We do this move. That's what we do.
I've been shifting away from buckle up, this is gonna get a little woo, but I've been shifting away from like pros and cons decision making to checking in with my body decision making. And so like when I'm thinking about whether or not, to do the thing, it's like, does doing that bring a tightness here, or like a tense like feeling of resistance, or does it feel like it just spreads and like loose? And so for me, those are physical signs of my intuition trying to communicate, like, this is in flow or this is in resistance. And there's a little bit of surrender with that, right? Like I'm also kind of like, it's also kind of, you got to get comfortable with like, maybe I don't know all the reasons. But I feel intuitively in my body that this is the direction that things are supposed to go. And that feels good. And as I'm thinking about it, I can, see the pathway start to lay out. I'm like, all right, cool. Then that's what we're doing. Like, that's as much thought as stuff gets anymore, which is kind of wild. But it still hasn't come back to bite me in the ass, at least not yet.
Well, and I think here's the thing, and this is the thing. I don't think that the decision is any more or less likely to come back and bite you in the ass, regardless of how you make the decision. It's either going to work and go well, or it's going to be oopsie and we need to course correct. And I don't think that matters on how you make the decision, which is why I think that those really ultra successful people make thousands of decisions like quickly. It doesn't matter. Either it's going to work or it's not. We need to just go, yes, we're going with it, and then correct, or no, we're not. And like that spinning process of, decision making that we've been taught we need to do really is just a time waster, because that's how I'm starting to feel about it, is that it doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve anything, because the only thing that's going to give us real concrete data is to make the decision, take action. That's right. Yes. Action. That's right. When we do the thing, or, then we get feedback and then we can make adjustments. But if we're just thinking about it, we have no idea.
Yeah.
So it really does come back to action and making choices and taking action. And so if we do it from this intuitive place, I think that we're able to do it quicker and get feedback quicker and all of the things that actually move us forward in our lives. Wow, that ended up being pretty cool.
Either you get where you were going to, or you learn something and then you pivot. But either way, you're still making progress faster than if you're just still looking at a Venn diagram of this is what if we do it, this is if we don't. Like, man, second grade they started instilling that crap in us.
No, right?
Oh,
I know.
God.
It's deep. It's deep and it's hard. It's why this whole
I think it's intentional, honestly, but that's
so important. It's why we've added it to the video vaults, right? The mindset calls every single month.
I know, I'm so excited, guys.
I'm telling you, like, listen, y'all, if you're a member of the Video Vault, the journal prompts are already there from last week's Mindset Monday. Go watch Mindset Monday from last week. Get your journal prompts, spend some time in that space. That's what we're doing with these. So every week, these videos are going into the vault, and you're going to get a writing prompt and some exercises to like incorporate this into your day. Right into your week. So super excited about that.
And September 23rd is the first group coaching program with yourself truly. Yay! I am so tickled.
We are so excited to have you.
Yes. I've been doing this Mindset Monday with Nicole for like 2 years, and I have been unofficially coaching a lot of my family and friends along the way, because like I just can't help myself. So I'm really excited to actually do it in a more formal capacity. So please bring your notebooks and your challenges, because we're going to pick through it.
Yes, I love it. And this is active stuff. Like, this isn't like come learn. This is bring your issues and let's work through them so that you can get what you need. And like I said, I'm super excited to have you doing that, Kayla. I just am, yay! I just think it adds such an amazing layer to all of the implementation tools that are already available there, along with the strategy that we're doing. So we get into this whole action thing. Quick plug for the upcoming strategic planning workshop. Literally going to be the last one we do. It is Friday, September 19th. Want to see you there so you can finish the year strong and get your Q4 and finish 2025 with a bang. Head into 2026. We are moving that. What we've seen is that workshop really has grown legs.
Yes, don't worry. The workshop is not disappearing. It's an evolution.
That's right. Because what we're seeing is that it's not enough to show up for a 4-hour workshop. Like, that's just the beginning. The best part about it is the remaining 12 weeks and the support you can get. And literally, I was working on the curriculum for that new program that we're going to launch in 2026 this morning. And I got really excited. I was like, ooh, this is going to be fun. So if you're interested in making sure that you finish with a bang and are ready to start 2026 strong, get with me about that workshop. That's going to be on Friday, September 19th. And that runs from, I think it's 1 to 5 Eastern. It's a 4-hour workshop. So, all right, mindset challenge for the week. I know I put one down here. Where can you trust yourself more this week? Is there a client decision, a boundary, or something you've been hesitant to take action on, or maybe even a new idea for your business? What is it that you've been overthinking, and what can you do to trust yourself more to take action on it this week? Kayla, what do you have for folks this week?
I think just finding a way to bring more consistent awareness to this concept of trusting yourself. And perhaps that's, Post-it notes on your mirror. Or one trick that I like to use is actually, I have a letter board where you can change the phrase. And so sometimes I'll put up a phrase for something that's like really speaking to me or I'm working on, and I'll take a photo and I'll make it the like lock screen or the back screen on my phone, so that I'm just constantly but subtly seeing it through the day and reminding myself. You also, if it's something that this one's big for you, you could go super like old school, kicking it back to high school or college days, and like write it on your hand. Write it on your hand for a week.
Oh, I love that.
See what a difference that makes. Maybe not if you have a big meeting, but like, hey, you know, different times for different things.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, everybody have a fantastic week. I can't wait to hear some of your successes. Join us for the workshop. Get into the video vault so you've got the support you need on this mindset stuff. Take action. Trust yourself. You know more than you think you do. Have a great week, y'all.
Bye.